Hey guys, yep, just finished the press conferences and my initial, as of right now, let's talk about the console companies, Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo. The Xbox One, yes, Microsoft started with the Xbox One, and it just looks like a PS2. And it literally looks like a PS2. It's like, but anyway, it started off really slow, the Halo and the Assassin's Creed stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I think the Tales Adventures, which kind of looks like Conker's Bad Fur Day, and they had an ogre. I forget what the title is. A title is here, but they did show off a couple of interesting games near the end. That was Microsoft's press conferences here. Now let's go with Sony. Sony. Yeah, we finally have a release date for God of War, which is not until 2018. And yeah, they show a couple of decent games here and there. But I think the best of the bunch was Nintendo. I mean, they were firing off their guns. Nintendo Super Mario Odyssey, which is kind of, I like how they mix like the little classic examples of Super Mario Odyssey, where you has a 3D and you can actually dress Mario up, and you have to dress Mario in order for you to go through some of the portions of the levels. And but it also has some sequences where it can actually go into a 2D Super Mario Brothers mode, and that's actually some parts of the level. Kind of like Legend of Zelda, A Link in Between Worlds, where it's like 2 or 3, where it's like you have to go to a wall and you transition yourself to 2D. Yeah, but there's some aspects about that here. So that's right now my initial reactions. I'm going to be probably more in-depth reactions once I review them furthermore here. Bethesda. Yeah, it's all about the DLC. They showed DLC. It was just, yeah, DLC for just more stuff. But it's like it just feels like a lot of DLC. And then they showed off Quake, which I don't know. I don't want Quake Arena. I want a new Quake game. A Quake single-player game, much like the first two Quake games released back in the 1990s. So yeah, I mean, I'm glad that they're going back to some form of LAN play. But I want a single player Quake game. That's what I want here. Ubisoft. I'm glad your shows are improving. None of these. Because I remember a few years ago where your shows were all about dancing games and Assassin's Creed, but now they're But instead, yeah, I mean they're right now showing a lot more support for the Switch, which Nintendo, which kind of surprising that they are actually some interest in the Switch, like considering the Switch is a handheld system. Many people thought it's a. Many people still think that it's a console hybrid, but it's a handheld system, and so having some sort of console experience in the handheld. But the bummer is that Sony is not having compatibility with the Switch. I think in the short term, it's also interesting to notice that the Switch, Nintendo, Microsoft right now making some connectivity to the Switch. So it could be, some reasons it could be Xbox One X later this year. But yeah, I have to say that I think the two of the best E3s were Nintendo and Ubisoft. So yeah, that's my initial reactions after watching the 5 presentations. Of course I didn't watch EA because I don't care about that company. But yeah. And this is me, JD out. Tell us what you think about the shows. Yeah.